Well, where do I begin? Uh, this is the worst Whitesnake album, in my opinion. I think I love Mark III, I love Mark IV, and those albums were very much of their time. And you've got to realize that in the composition, the arrangements, the performances, there's subtleties that were very much within the 70s. There was a single guitarist, you had John Lord, you had a Glenn Hughes on bass, you had Pacey on drums, and David Coverdale. There was a certain chemistry, a certain alchemy. And the thing, I think the biggest crime, and maybe that's a very strong word, that this lineup of Whitesnake does is they don't respect the material. It's bludgeoned. There is no light and shade. Now, I was thinking, like, it's fine and Jim Dandy to go to look back at your past. And I think all the intentions of this album were very honourable. But, you know, something like Led Zeppelin, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, when they did, what was that album? No Quarter? And they...
No Quarter.
Yeah, they did interpretations. Why couldn't Whitesnake do that? Why couldn't DC do a reinterpretation? To me, he's bludgeoning the material, and it's very much through the prism of hair metal. And there's a lot of papering of the vocals because you listen to the vocals all the way through, and it's double track. Everybody's singing, but they're covering up the failings of David's voice because his voice is weathering through age, and he's not the vocalist that he once was. There's no light and shade. There's no space for the instruments to breathe. And that's what Mark III, Mark IV was all about. Now, Mark IV was a drug album. And, you know, you had Tommy Bolin and Glenn Hughes. They were at the peak of their drug usage. And it was a miracle they got music out. And it was really kind of weird circumstances that they were able to create art and create music. It's very hard to replicate that sort of sound, that sort of looseness, and put it through something that's just so rigid and so bombastic. And there's just no, it just kind of, the way that this band is performing, it just suffocates the material. There's no air between the notes. There's just so much wrong with this album. It's just one volume all the way through. I think this is the most misguided album in Whitesnake's catalogue. The intentions were there, but what has come out is completely something different. I agree with you about Joel Reed. I'm not a Joel fan. I think that he doesn't respect the material. He's a shredder. Tommy Aldridge is not right for the material because, you know, Pacey, you know, Ian Pace in Mark III and Mark IV had groove, had swing all the way through. Tommy Aldridge is just bludgeoning the material. It's flat. It's like a flat bat all the way through. I could go on. There's just so much wrong with this album. So like you, Reed, Lou Reed, like you, Reed, I'm abstaining. I can't pick a good song or a bad song. I've listened to this album all the way through, but I come out of it and I just shake my head. Any other thoughts?
No, not for me.
Yeah, it's just, that's the great thing of doing these shows. You know, it's the great thing about it. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. And for all the, and I agree with all the points. You're right. Everything's redlined. I don't know. I still like it.
Yeah, and we love you, Tim. We love, and that's the
and there's a lot
thing about it.
Yeah, and you're right. They are covering up a multitude of you know, with Coverdale, and even when I saw them live, it's like everybody was singing. It's like, that's your gig, dude. You know, but you know, it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting thing to watch with some of these older singers, how they deal with the advancing years.
Yeah, absolutely.